It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. Recently, we checked out a video from this channel that revolved around a cartoon show that I believe is on YouTube, you guys let me know, called Hell of a Boss, and I thought it was pretty dope. I do plan on checking out the show at some time. I don't know if I'm going to do reactions to it because I do have an anime reaction channel, so there's a chance that maybe it'll pop up over there, but I do plan on watching it because you guys kind of sold me on it, and I feel like it'd be a good time. And I'm always looking for new stuff to watch, especially when I'm just chilling in bed at night and everything. So I definitely want to do that. Now, I don't know if this video is related to Hell of a Boss. It's called Poison. It said Hazbin Hotel, but I saw that it dropped recently in probably the last few days, right? Yeah, January 5th. So I thought we would dive into it because the last thing that I saw from them did not disappoint, not one bit. So let's see what this one's all about.
I'm not a bubble up to cash in. Another lover underneath those flashing lights. Another one of those ruthless nights. Yeah. I should've guessed that this would happen. I should've known it when I looked in your red hot eyes, spewing all your red hot lies. Yeah. What's the worst part of this hell? I can only blame myself. Cause I know you're poison, you're feeding me poison. Addicted to this feeling, I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choice and every night I'm living like there's no tomorrow.
This shit is so real. It's kind of reminds me of a relationship that I had back in, 2019, 2020. It's crazy how we get ourselves into some situations, right? And it's just tough because sometimes you get some of the right flags right in the beginning. Like you kind of know. You kind of know something seems a little bit off, but you're enjoying your time with this person. They seem genuine otherwise. And, so you kind of want to see it out and see how it's going to work. Or sometimes you tell yourself like, you know what? Something's fishy about them. I'm going to keep a little bit of a distance, like emotionally, but I'm enjoying them. We're having a good time going out, doing things, maybe having a good time at night as well, whatever the case is. And so you kind of stick with it. And, I did that. And then at one point I was like, do you want this to be more? Are we just hanging out at times? Because I'm cool with either. Like I'm not trying to push the narrative in either way. And when she paused for quite a while, which, like I said, it wouldn't have bothered me because at the time I'm like, listen, I'm enjoying my life. I'm doing things. I'm trying to build on YouTube. There's a lot of things that I have going on. So if we're just kicking it and just going to be friendly and hang out once in a while, I'm totally fine with that. Like I wasn't invested at all emotionally at this point. So I didn't really care which way the answer went. But then she's just like, well, I'd rather us work towards being a relationship. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. So maybe some of these weird red flags will kind of like dissipate, which is one of the dumbest things that you could do. And I just like this, I started drinking the poison. I couldn't help it. It's like I was addicted to it apparently. And yeah, it just got weirder and weirder as I realized and found out some more things. But then at that point, I started to be invested emotionally. So now I'm like, I'm in a spot. And I find that one of the dumbest things that you could do, at least in my opinion, no offense to anyone out there, this is just me talking about stuff that I've done, is try to convince somebody of something, right? Like if they're not just on board with doing things the right way and not being, toxic, so to speak, in a certain way, or, not continuing something that shouldn't be going on, like it's just anything like that. Like you can't try to take on the role of the convincer. You can't be the person to try to tell them, well, listen, like we're so good together and this, that, and the third, and this is the only issue and da. Because if you have to continually try to convince them or try to explain to them why something should be a certain way or why, like you're not really going to get anywhere, right? Like it's so different than when two people get on Twitter, right? And they're arguing back and forth about a topic. Very unlikely is one going to change the other's mind. Unless the one of them is just very, very fringe belief of what it is that they're arguing about, then maybe some information might be able to alter their thought process. But usually nothing changes. The argument just continues on and on and on, and sometimes becomes even more toxic. And then two people don't like each other and they go their separate ways, right? Like that happens way more often than not. And I feel like it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. If you guys just aren't clicking already, and don't get me wrong, like relationships do have things that you have to work on, but it depends on what those things are, right? There's certain things that make sense that you work on and you make compromises on and stuff like that. But there's other things where it's like, can't try to be the person trying to convince them to make this change, right? Because it's most likely not going to happen. And you're going to continually go through this over and over and over. And as you're doing that and allowing yourself to have these moments of thinking that things are okay, you're going to get more and more emotionally attached. and then shit just goes sideways. So that would just be my, you know, little advice. Just I'm just saying.
Oh, any way you want me, baby, that's the way you got me. I'll be yours. My story's gonna end with me dead from your poison. I got so good at being untrue. I got so good at telling you what you wanna hear. I disassociate, disappear.
That's some real shit. I got so good at telling you what you want to hear. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are like that. You got to be careful. Anyways, all my stories aside, this is actually a really, really dope sounding song. Like, it's audibly pleasing. I like the voice. The voice just fits so well. And just the entire package of it is really well put together.
From your poison, I got so good at being untrue. I got so good at telling you what you wanna hear. I disassociate, disappear. Yeah. So far beyond difficult to resist another gulp. Yeah, I know it's poison. You're feeding me poison. I'm choking from the taste and I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choices.
It's so real.
Every night I'm wasted like there's no tomorrow. Oh, any way you want me, baby, that's the way you got me. I'll be yours. My story's gonna end with me dead from your poison. Poison, I'm drowning in poison. I'm filling up my glass, but it's always hollow, full of poison. I'm sick of the poison. Wish I had something to live for tomorrow.
This was amazing. Oh, so this is a new series. Okay, so this is a new series that they're doing. Starts January 19th. So I'm ahead of time. I'm gonna have to check this out. Especially if they're gonna end up doing some music around it. Maybe we'll have to check out the music as well. But comment below. Let me know if you plan on watching this, what you think about it, if we should go forward with more of it, if there's music involved. And I definitely got to check out Hell of a Boss. So these are two separate things. I don't know if the universes are connected in any way or if they're completely separate, but I'm here for it. I like this. This is a really, really dope channel. I always have a link down below for anything that I check out. So I assume if anybody's new here, you know, you can go down there and click it yourself and see more of what they're about. But I feel like a lot of people that come here are people that already know about this channel and already are subscribed and are filling me in on more about it, which I really do appreciate. As far as the relationship stuff, just gotta be careful out there. Just be careful out there. Don't be swallowing too much poison. Don't be letting yourself get caught up into a situation. Pay attention to the red flags. I mean, I feel like everybody says that, but and at times we just kind of fall into this habit of not paying attention. Pay attention to the red flags because they're usually relatively obvious, and it's just a matter of where you're at mentally and if you want to pay attention to them, right? Because you just might be like, listen, I'm getting some attention from some person, and you know, it's I enjoy when we're together. It's like, okay, that's cool, but there's so much more to it than that. So much more to it than that. And a lot of people will get into the habit of telling a lot of lies. Unfortunately, it's just the fact of life. And as crazy as it is, and as much as I just talked about that one relationship, I still wish them the best. And honestly, I wish that we could have stayed friendly because I feel like on that level, we probably would have been really better off. I think that if I didn't ask that question, because I was more so just not knowing where it was that she wanted it to go. So I felt like I needed to ask, so I didn't approach it in the wrong way. And maybe just think, hey, we're just hanging out and friends. And then she gets mad at me because that's how I'm, you know, so I felt like it's a discussion you have to have. But I feel like if I would have pushed it more in the friend direction, we'd probably still be talking today and still be cool. And I think that would have been the better option because we get along really well. So it is what it is. But yeah, shout out to Vivian Madrano. This is fire. The song was fire. I'm gonna have to check out the show when it drops. With that said, take it easy, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.